Hi, this is Alessio. Hope you're well, and welcome to this update on Bitcoin. Now, of course, the most important, interesting news story today is what's happening on Bitcoin right now as we're speaking. In fact, this massive surge that you're seeing here, incredible surge on Bitcoin higher above the resistance level. And in fact, it's broken through several key important resistance levels, the important resistance levels at 4,200, and even broken through the 200 moving average. So it's basically come almost to the 5,000, just over the 5,000 level you see here on the peak today on Bitcoin. Now, you might think that this move has probably surprised me. Actually, it did not. Let me explain. A few days ago, last week, in our member webinar, you may recall last week we did a member webinar with Zach Meir. In that webinar, this is the scenario we discussed as the most likely scenario on Bitcoin. In fact, both Zach and I agreed that this is the most likely scenario. It's called a delayed bearish scenario. And we said in the member webinar, the most likely scenario on Bitcoin is a move up to the 5,000 to 5,200 level. As you can see here from this arrow, this is the level we pointed towards as the most likely level for Bitcoin to move towards. As you can see, near the 5,000, 5,200 level, before Bitcoin finally comes to its senses, rolls over and goes back down to earth, and just goes back down to the previous lows. All right, so the bottom line is that I think what's happening on Bitcoin right now is essentially playing to the script, playing to the scenario we just discussed a few moments ago. So if you're a member of Leading Trader, you would have been expecting this move, this surge that actually occurred today. Okay, so the question, of course, now is, so what? What happens now, right? So I wanted you to actually focus on something very important, which is this. I want to just show you something interesting is happening on the monthly time frame chart. Now, why am I showing you the monthly time frame chart? So let me explain. There is an important level on this chart. So again, all you have to do is switch your chart to a monthly time frame and put on your chart a 21 monthly average, because this is a very important level that we're coming towards. The 21 monthly average, the blue line you see right there, just near the 5,200 level, by the way, by the looks of things. And we haven't quite tested it just yet, but we're coming very close. Now, why is that level important? Here's why. You see, in the year 2015, take a look at this. This is Bitcoin in the year 2015. Now, after Bitcoin made a significant drop back then, Bitcoin actually made several attempts to get a rally going, and both of them failed. Take a look. So as you'll see, one was right here. It made an attempt to rally here. Well, you could count this as two rallies, but bottom line is this one failed completely. There was a much more significant rally, which actually resembles almost what could be happening right now, which is that, after a period of low volatility, it made a sudden surge, okay? And by the way, this surge that you're seeing here, this top that you're seeing right there, is when price hit the 21 monthly average back in 2015. I'll show you exactly how that happened. But look what happened afterwards. It then dropped, and actually it dropped much further lower. Look at that. So after price hit the 21 monthly average, which I'll show you in a few moments, there it is, and then it dropped, boom, crashed all the way back down. It actually lost 1/3 of its value. All right, actually came almost very close. This low you see here came very close to the previous lows that Bitcoin made in January. As I'll just show you, if I just zoom back, take a look. So that drop that occurred after the rally, that drop that occurred came almost very close to the previous lows of January. Okay, now if I switch this chart to a monthly chart, let's go to a monthly. So take a look at this. This is the monthly chart of Bitcoin back in 2015. Notice this rally that I just showed you. So Bitcoin comes up, almost touches the 21 monthly average, and then boom, it drops and loses 1/3 of its value, which almost looks something similar to what's happening right now. And by the way, this doesn't just happen on Bitcoin. It happens in other markets too. This is the chart of gold on a monthly time frame, monthly chart of gold. And look what happened. After gold's bubble bursted in 2011, all right, and it crashed. All right, look what happened. Gold came and rallied and tested the 21 monthly average right there. It tested the 21 monthly average, and then boom, it failed and dropped. It happened again, by the way. Look at this. It came and rallied one more time, tested 21 monthly average, and then that also failed, and then boom, it dropped again. In fact, several times, at least 2 times it did this before finally establishing some kind of uptrend. So going to the chart of Bitcoin, before I come back to this chart, let me just show you one more time. Okay, so this has been an interesting surge today, and let's just be very clear. The most likely reason for this surge has been a short covering rally. So there's been a lot of traders, of course, who put stop losses. Remember, these are futures traders as well, who put stop losses just above these highs. All right. And so what happens is when Bitcoin comes and takes out their stops, the short sellers, that causes a short squeeze and a short covering rally. And this is what's been happening right now. This surge in the price of Bitcoin was most likely a short covering rally, and also some manipulation. Let's not forget there's manipulation going on by bots and algorithms deliberately designed to take out these stops and cause a short covering rally. So this is most likely is going to cause some kind of pump and dump scenario in Bitcoin right now. And I think that's what's likely happening. We've come to test the 5,000 level. But look, again, if we just go back to the monthly chart time frame, again, let's focus. Where are we on the monthly chart? On the monthly chart, it's a reversion to the mean. It's a reversion back to the 21 monthly average, which means that most likely once this average is tested, if it gets tested indeed, then we're likely to see failure near these levels and then drop back down potentially to the previous lows. Okay, this rally you're seeing here in Bitcoin actually is a blessing. Why? It's a blessing because this is precisely the kind of surge or indeed up move we need to get the FOMO crowd in. So essentially, right now, I can guarantee you there's a lot of people out there who are essentially getting into the state of fear of missing out, the FOMO crowd. And these folks probably are now convinced that Bitcoin is on its way towards 20,000. I can guarantee you right now, there's probably a lot of videos and articles being written right now that Bitcoin is on its way towards the 20,000 level. All right. But of course, the more likely scenario is that Bitcoin actually what it's doing is replaying what happened back in 2015. And this most likely is one of those fake out rallies driven by manipulation and short covering. And eventually we're going to see Bitcoin coming back to its senses, coming back down to earth, and retesting the previous, potentially going back to its previous lows of February and maybe even back to January. So again, this surge we're seeing here in the price of Bitcoin is a blessing. It's a good thing because it's precisely the kind of scenario we need to see happen in Bitcoin to see lower prices eventually. All right, guys, hope this video has helped. And if it has, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, remember, there's a lot more analysis in the member videos. And if you're not a member, you can become one today by going to this link. And I'll see you guys in the next video update. Thanks very much indeed. Bye for now.